Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Phantom Brigade, where we have a lot of recovery to do here. That got really messy. So we're rebuilding our sniper rifle unit. Let's just have a quick look. So we're rebuilding all of our units. They should be fine. We effectively just chose not to recover some of the handguns that were secondary to our equipment. Honestly, having played the game, having played with this a little bit more, I don't think that it really is very sensible to build an assault rifle unit with a handgun secondary anyway. The ranges on them are too similar. There's really no situation where I would use the handgun. So I don't feel bad about this unit losing its handgun. The sniper rifle, we do want to have something for when the engagement gets closer, but I think we have other options. So let's just dig in here and verify. We also fully lost an arm. We need to kind of go over our body parts again. This is probably going to be an episode that has little to no combat in it, and I apologize if that's not totally your bag. But we have things to fix. So first things first. Well, you know what? You're a backup mech, though. Let's consider these like our main four. Let's talk about these. So the marksman rifle, it's fine. Can we sort by? Okay, I really wish that this was a drop down. You know, it should be like sort and then you get to pick level, group, or whatever. The click through is like, it's not a big deal when there's only 3 options, but it's definitely less good. So we have a much better marksman rifle available here. What does the supercharge perk do exactly? Okay, bonus duration and extra kinetic damage. That's fine. And then some, yeah, heat generation down. Okay. Yeah. Totally cool. Do we want a handgun? I think with this, the marksman rifle is another place where the handgun does make sense, although I wish we had a better one. We could swap in this SMG instead. Optimal range 30 to 53, so it's a little different. The marksman rifle has up to 45 as its minimum range. So there's a little bit of overlap. Like, honestly, this mech getting a handgun and then the sniper getting the SMG, I think makes a lot of sense. So maybe we'll keep you on your crummy handgun. We'll just be on the lookout for a better one. All right. Let's talk about... So when I unequip a torso, when I unequip any body part, really, we should be prying out all of the non-welded or non-fused modules so that we can potentially use them on other things, I think. So this is we have a slightly lower mass but higher integrity yeah, I think we should probably I think we're scrapping this Nox 2M. So let's yank all the modules, unequip that, and I think we want to move up to this Elbrus. Okay. So let's have a talk about these. The hollow plate reduces the mass even more. This weight reduction reduces the mass even more, but we have a better one. Like part of the way this thing is staying live is being very fast. And when I say live, I don't mean alive. I mean like active in combat. So I think I do like this. This has pretty strong heat dissipation. Right, so yeah, it's got 24 speed. And then do we want these thrusts? Like the standard T1 reach thrusters have considerably more thrust on them than this thing does. This thing has no effect on our power. And so it's not draining move speed or dash in exchange for having less thrust. So the base dash is less. I actually think I like the flashpoint on this mech, the way we're using it. And then this is just mass and heat dissipation reduction. I don't want to damage the thing's overall integrity too much. There's definitely such a thing as too light. But this thing, like, flitting around at the edges of the battlefield and putting those marksman shots into people is really nice. I wanna make sure that the sniper has some decent speed and stuff as well. So if we swap to these, we lose a tiny bit of integrity. We'd gain like 4 points of mass. But that's because these have that generator that we could pull out and we could install mass reduction. I don't know. I might just leave these legs. I think they're fine. They're doing the thing they need to do. I might want to increase the integrity of the arms, because if we lose the arms, like this, the fact that the one arm on this side is heavy, I think actually has worked out really well for us. Yeah, let's pull this light arm. I want more integrity in the arms, because if either arm goes down, this thing just like is completely useless. So like we have a 10.4 mass arm here with 300 integrity because of that light plate. I kind of love that. This thing is very fast. And we're improving the range of the rifle. I had to say, I will, as much as I like the opportunity to fiddle with stuff at a very low level, this thing where every piece of equipment has like 2 to 5 slots in it, and the slots contain modules, and the modules can't be easily looked at because tooltips don't they don't pin in this game, so you always have to equip things or look at them in the disconnected inventory view rather than just being able to like mouse over something and see what the part is. Plasma launcher, that's interesting. We're gonna come back to this. It just makes the system feel very fiddly. It's very annoying to refit parts with their sub parts, but I bet it's a pretty valuable thing to do. And that sucks. Don't make the most effective way to play your game an annoying way to play your game, you know? So this thing, ballistic, locking. So it is more useful while stationary. Okay. So yeah, try to stick. Oh, also this thing needs a paint job. So it's like an annoying little bug flitting around the edges of the battlefield. Maybe like a green, a nice green like this. That's not, we don't have a green one, do we? We kind of need to do some repainting, honestly. I thought I had this thing painted kind of blue, didn't I? I want it to be blue anyway. That's sort of like our main slugger. And then sniper, marksman. Okay, so the heavy mech was considered like fully destroyed, or because we did have a 6th frame. All right, this is going to be the rebuild heavy mech. So we're going to make this that nice sort of pinkish. Actually, I would like it to be more of the parts, so it's more visible in the at the distances we are generally playing at. Okay, so did I lose my? No, we have the Vulcan cannon still. I am curious about this plasma launcher, though. What is the deal with this? Guided charged energy that explodes in proximity to the target, slow but powerful, deals concussive damage to slow-moving groups because it's an explosion. And it really does have a very considerable concussive damage component. You know what? You're going to be the plasma mech. We're going to build another frame. We're going to put another frame in the construction queue. Why does the music need to swell quite so much? The standing volume variance is really wild. Ooh. It's very strange to call an axe a blunt weapon. Like the name of the axe is blunt. But yeah, a melee weapon is definitely interesting. That's a compelling thing. Also, railgun repeater. Fires tungsten rods capable of penetrating structures and units. That's definitely interesting. Do we want to try some of this stuff? I don't know if I want to have an axe unit. Well, you know, so like the only time we would bring the shotgun mech in is when we have a bunch of obstructions, right? And we don't think the marksman and the sniper are both going to be able to find shooting points. And in a situation like that, an axe might well be effective, in fact. I am curious. Let's build one. And if we're going to build one, we want to build a nice one. So it would take 8. All right, we need some fancier base upgrades for stuff like that. Let's take a peek in at the upgrades real quick. So first things first, before anything else, I want to make sure that our quick fix is... Where do we mess with our quick fix capacity? That doesn't feel like a workshop thing necessarily. No. I'm looking for something that has like an icon that looks like the quick fix. Stealth mode is not really the concern. Removes industrial constraints on the repair station. So just improves repair speed. This allows us to repair units in parallel instead of in sequence, which obviously would be really nice. This is all drive stuff. Better sensor packages. So this is all power related. Gosh, maybe there isn't an upgrade to the amount of quick fix you can store? I would think that as things get more serious, as the numbers go up, a lack of improving the amount of quick fix you can store is going to make... See, so yeah, this has liquid fix limit improvement. I would think that over time, a lack of improvement to the amount of liquid fix you're storing would mean that barrier units become basically worthless because they're going to be losing more hit points per hit. You're going to be spending, unless liquid fix is always applied as a percentage, like the unit's missing 1% of its barriers, so you use 1% liquid fix instead of a flat value, maybe. But then liquid fix limit plus 100 here would... I guess that's just like 100% and you never improve it. Weird decision, but I think that is what we're seeing here. So, okay. That being the case, maybe I'm not so immediately concerned. Like, obviously, we want experimental assembly. Okay, let's get advanced assembly now. We know we're gonna want that. And then experimental assembly is going to require 20 rare components. We probably don't even have enough blues to break down. Well, we have some... Okay, we have some sort of like mid-level blue stuff that I feel comfortable taking apart. But I would want to peel the detach all customizable systems from selected parts. Okay, yeah, so yank out all the parts. All right, long press, because everything's a long press for some reason. Yeah, yank out all that stuff, and then Okay, there's a detach and scrap one. We can do that as one action. So yeah, that only gets us to 14, and I think we might want to actually use all the other few blue parts we have. So we just are not ready to build blue components yet. What am I doing? This isn't what I want. So back to the workshop. You know what? Build me a green axe. I'm curious what they look like. So we'll throw that in the build queue. We can build two things at once. It takes 10 hours to build an entire mech frame, or 75% of that to build an axe. Really? Bizarre. Okay. So let's finish building this mech. The plasma launcher's optimal range is quite long, so you do want something. I mean, this could just be a missile launcher cluster. I think I'm fine with that. So the action duration here is 2 seconds. This one does not have to stand and fight as much, so it doesn't need to be terribly heavy, probably. But I'm sure we can gain some integrity here while also improving in lots of other ways. So yeah, that gives us some better base. We probably don't need the restoration reactor unless we end up applying some barrier parts to this thing, and it seems like I'm probably not going to. So yeah, just better heat dissipation. I'm not too worried about the thing's mass. Well, it is a little on the slow side right now, though, isn't it? Yeah, we could use some lighter bits here. I want to make sure I'm saving some movement parts for the sniper, though. Yeah, I like this arm. I don't know if we need the light plate on this one. But I guess there's no reason to pull it, really. That is a very lightly armored arm piece. We could just throw like a normal... Yeah, just a normal arm on here, like... I'm trying to make sure this thing's dissipating heat well, and it's like... It's heavy enough, right? The pieces are strong. You want to be careful with the arms on something like this, I guess. Maybe I want to go for this heavier arm. There's an extra 20 heat capacity. Here, we'll go for this heavier arm. We don't need to overdo it. It's got reasonable move speed. Yeah, I think that's fine. Reduces scatter of your weapon. I don't know that I need that. The heat generation on this thing is fairly serious, but we've got some pretty good heat, like overall heat reduction. I think this is functional. The Screecher. Do I want to repaint it now that I know that it's going to be a plasma weapon, or now that it's going to be a plasma mech instead of being the rebuild for the other thing? Probably. What's a good plasma color? This looks cool up close, but it's going to be a lot harder to pick out the redness of it from above. That, I think, is tacking a little too close to the pink. This sort of like red and yellow hazard paint is neat. Yeah, we'll do that. That's not a bad look. And I don't think that's going to read too similar to anything else. Yeah. And then we'll, like I said, we'll rebuild the other one. The sniper. Let's take a quick look at the sniper's parts here. So we're going to have to rebuild some things. So I'm going to give you this SMG to work with. Your whole situation needs to be reworked. So I do want you to be fast. That's a pretty serious mass difference for a light body. This thing doesn't have light plate installed though. Hold on, let me pull your light plate. The level 2, it just has too little core integrity. We're definitely not keeping that level 2. So if we throw on the level 4, this hybrid sensor's like okay. And then this reactor, like relative to 15 dissipation, 100 capacity, 80 power. We have much worse dissipation with the takeoff, but it does have higher power. I might want to just keep the standard reactor, honestly. Yeah, I don't think like the capacity gain versus the power loss here, I don't think makes a ton of sense. So it's like, do we want to keep the hybrid sensor or do we want to strip that and put in? I think this is fine. Just like making the range of the sniper rifle a little bit more flexible because it is very powerful, right? And then we need arms. Must have arms. Do the arms need to be huge and bulky? They gotta be pretty big. What if we go for like this medium and that medium? We're back on medium speed, short dash, but it's a lot less likely to drop its gun than it used to be. Let's talk about these legs. Can we strip the mass of this thing down? We could get up to like a speed in the 14s maybe. Oh, let me swap to these legs. What is this barrier plate doing? It is adding barrier and mass. We don't need that. If I shove in that light plate, we can get the speed as high as 17 while maintaining 1300 integrity. Yeah, at that point, the legs are definitely the weak point, but I feel like that's fine. If I swap out the light plate here, we can get... That brings that arm down to 298, though. It's a little scary. We probably don't need the heat dissipation. It's that or bonus capacity. I guess I'd rather have the dissipation. We could gain like 100. Yeah, honestly, maybe the heavy plate is right for this body part in particular. The mass increase is a little bit of a bummer. So at this level we have 1.9 optimal interval. If we switch back to the light plate, it doesn't actually change the heat dissipation at all meaningfully. The heat mass affects how quickly you dissipate heat, doesn't it? Maybe only indirectly? Because that's my primary concern here, is making sure that we're still able to fire really frequently. Yeah, I guess maybe we just go for the middle ground on this. Yeah, that's fine. The basic plate gives us almost 400 points in each arm, and we still have 17 speed. It's only medium, but it's pretty high medium. So the marksman is super fast. Float around, get your shots. You are pretty fast as well. Or you will be, you know, once your parts are all figured out here. We do have to give you another arm. And this thing doesn't have to be that fast. It is important that we not go down. So that pulled us all the way down to 12 speed, huh? That's a little... I mean, like, putting anything on was going to bring the speed down, because obviously you're heavier once you have an arm. I'm really not that worried about the heat capacity. Well, I mean, a little bit. Obviously, it would be better. The right arm is the weapon arm, so we want this to be the big one. Yeah, 526 integrity keeps the weapon functioning. I think that's hard to argue with. But I would like to up the speed on this thing somewhat. So you get back up to 13 this way. We should definitely think about these shields. They do pull our heat down a little bit. Like this particular shield is the lightest shield we're going to be able to carry, probably, because it's entirely barrier. Like, it's designed to be a move fast shield. And I think I'm going to stick with it for that reason, even though it's not like the best actual cover. 300 points of cover is good enough, I think. Do we want to swap to... We don't really have another... No, this is not an improvement. Okay, we'll keep this. We're definitely in the market for a new assault rifle, though. 2+ is not... It's not where we want to be. So we could afford to run a much lighter arm on the other side, because this arm is behind the shield anyway. This one really is much lighter. And that lets us get our dash and our move speed back. It's a little scary. It's a little scary to run something that thin, but if it's got the shield in front of it, it's probably okay. And I really do want the speed on this thing. It's kind of an oddly built mech all around. So moving up to this heavy torso gets us up to 18 speed. Is our torso like really massive? Where's all the extra speed coming from? Oh, this thing does have a much more effective generator in it. The thing is, we kind of want a restoration generator in this thing, I think. Because we're using so much, you know, that whole side of the mech is barrier. Gosh, this is a speed increase. Hold on, I'm gonna do that. Let me equip this. So this keeps us in the medium weight class. I would kind of like to be heavyweight class. And we can maybe afford to bulk up after the changeover here. So the heat tolerance is going to be a little bit worse. Just that raw power gain is really significant. So 85 power. If we put this back in, it drops us 3 points of speed by itself. But it has that higher that higher barrier regeneration rate. Unfortunately, I don't really know what 132 means. Like, is that barrier regeneration per second, or... With the way the mech is configured now, we probably don't need the... Like, obviously, like, half of... One arm of the mech is basically all barrier, but we no longer have barrier anywhere else. So, yeah, the restoration maybe is not so important. What would it take to get us... We have to get quite a bit heavier to get back into the heavyweight class, but I like the idea of, especially if the thing maintains a decent amount of speed, the idea of being able to bully enemy mediums is definitely attractive. If we take this out, that is not enough. Well, let's go ahead and remove it anyway, because I think we are probably going to be swapping legs here. It's a lot of mass. Okay, if we switch over to this, we gain all that mass. This thing is just giving us straight up 1.5 power. So if we swap that out, we're going to lose speed. If I put this in, is it... Yeah, it is enough of a mass reduction to get us back down to medium. Okay, but the Mark II's not. The Mark II keeps us above the line and gets us back up to 15 speed. Would I rather just have the generator if we're doing that? Probably, actually, right? Or we can hold off. We can leave all this stuff for somebody else. So yeah, you're heavy. You have some speed. We made like a weird set of trade-offs here. So are the slots typed? How do I get the whole arm to appear again? Like, this is a defensive module. I'm kind of like, what I'm wondering is, why do I only have the capacitor available here? And why is it so hard to get things to appear? Like, I just want to be able to look at this. So is the slot itself... There's no subsystem installed into this hardpoint. What does that mean? There's no subsystem installed into this hardpoint. Is the module not... Alright, well, I don't know. But this is... I wanted this thing to be heavy so that we can use it to charge people. It needs to have the speed necessary to catch up with them. But yeah, that'll work. Sorry, can I now repaint this thing? Don't overwrite the base paint job, please. What if we wanted to... If I went with something a little subtler than just the raw blue. Like, honestly, this looks kind of okay. That blue and purple. I'm just a little worried with the darker color jobs, the darker paint jobs, that they will not be obvious enough on the battlefield, because we're always seeing things from above. And it's often like kind of a grim kind of a grim overall vibe. I want this to be like pretty blue. We'll just keep it like really, really obvious. Okay, so the green, the black and gold, the blue, the red and gold, and then we'll have that sort of that screaming pink for the heavy cannon. Just keeps things visible. All right, so I think with that we're cool to just rest. Right? I need to let my pilots do their parade thing. We have incoming. Nope, never mind. Turned out to be a fake, I guess. Alright, so our pilots are at least feeling in reasonable shape here. Alright, so we need to go back to a resupply point. There is an enemy equipment convoy that's still alive somehow. They're only threat level 82. And they probably have, like... They probably have stuff. Here, we'll rush them. We'll grab grab all their shit real fast, and then we'll be out of there. So, assault rifle. Let's swap in the plasma launcher. I want to see this thing in action. But you guys are in pretty decent shape. Yeah. And we'll just recruit a couple of new pilots and refill our quick fix and stuff. It's wild that you can't have your engineering crew getting quick fix into the base while you're also doing recruits. Like, it's so arbitrary. All right, move back onto supplies to secure them. I love supplies. So, plasma launcher. Probably want to let the opponents approach a little bit. All right, let's see what that looks like. They're going to do some indirect fire on... Okay, there's a ton of indirect fire coming for the assault rifle mech. Not a big deal. I'm assuming we will still get paid, even if I just respond by killing the enemies first. What I kind of want to do here is let the second group of missiles get in the air before the dash, in the hope that I can sort of beat both groups with a single combined move. If I do this here, yeah, that's probably not ideal. It would be really good to not get shot in the back of the head by my own unit, is what I'm concerned about. Alright, we'll spend a little time shooting at you. Alright, not going to worry too much about it from there. And then the marksman. So the marksman's going to go around behind everybody. There's some direct fire from them, but what is that tank packing? That's an autocannon? Okay, maybe we go the other way. We can maintain building cover this way. All right, that should be meaningful. So you get your shot. Gonna put more missiles in the air. We'll probably have to dodge again. I think I'm okay with this. Let's see how this goes. All right, that was pretty well timed. Those projectiles move real slow. To be perfectly honest with you, I kind of want to prioritize defense here, so maybe we move again before we think about doing anything else. Ripped the side off of this thing. Could you fire again quickly? Pretty quickly. Run up a little bit. Stop before it's time to shoot again. Okay, so that thing's probably done for. I have no idea what to expect from this. So, actually, maybe I want to dash away. Oh, that thing's going to roll up the hill. Okay. I'm just really worried about these plasma balls. And they explode, right? I don't know exactly how big they explode. This seems like a more reasonable path, though. I think the marksman's probably got that other tank under control, so I feel like we can afford to do this. It does seem like this mech has just gone to sleep, which I suppose I appreciate. And then you are already overheated. Shooting again is a distant idea for you. But nobody's threatening you, so we may as well just stand there and do it. Okay, some of those missiles caught us. Okay, that was easy enough. So, what kind of supplies did we pull? Workshop charge for something called a Vulcan. I'm assuming this is going to be... this is the heavy machine gun, right? Okay, just a big knife. Big mech knife. A cool axe. Yeah, that's some good stuff. They had some decent supplies in there. That's all the shit we get for free. And then... yeah, pull this... I don't know if I care about this so much. I mean, I guess. Yeah, just bring all that stuff in. Bring that. And then we'll scrap recover those. Definitely worth the detour. And we took almost no damage getting it, so... I don't know what the little symbol on this camp means. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back to a resupply point. We need quick fix like you wouldn't believe. A reinforced convoy. Well, I mean... you know... again, the threat level's very low. I know we're not even, like, getting repairs between these battles, but... a little bit of mop up. We're capable. We're capable of this. We can handle this. Threat level on this convoy was still pretty low. Alright. So what do we got here? Wow, threat level in this convoy was pretty low considering there's fucking 6 units in the thing. Alright, so what are we looking at? Cannon and SMG... sniper rifle and SMG. So they have a sniper. Okay, but it's mostly direct fire weaponry at least, so it's controllable. We gotta watch that sniper though. The sniper's the... okay, it's the light one. For the most part, they're not even really participating. Okay, this one has a secondary missile launcher. Seems like a fine weapon on somebody who's got a shotgun primary. That seems smart. Okay. So... I should probably be running my sniper rifle mech instead of the marksman. Whatever, it's fine. So they don't really have a lot of approach here. Let's run you down there. The enemy shooting at you has a cannon. I mean, yeah, it's whatever. So if I just keep running, I will be in the open during part of the shooting. Yeah, so I may as well shield up. I'm not going to be doing any firing myself anyway, so... Alright, let's just get down here so that we are ready to provide some... Do I want to keep running? Or do I want to wait? I'm going to wait at the bottom here. Alright, plasma launcher. In theory, we might have some enemies grouped up here. It would be pretty cool if we could actually get more than one hit from the launcher. It does seem, though, like I'm going to have to do this thing. It's supposed to explode where it lands, though, right? What if I plan ahead of time? They might not even go there. Whatever, it's worth a try. Okay, you need to stay low. Pick up a shot when you have one. Right, so we do a little bit of waiting. We step out from behind the rock here. That thing's got a machine gun, so it's probably not actually gonna, like, hit. I guess this wait could be longer. Because it really is just like this tiny little step out, and then... yeah. Alright, let's see how it goes. Okay, it was enough to kill the tank. And here come the missiles, so you just need to disappear. Gonna get a little bit of an overheat on that. The projectile's not really heading toward anybody anymore. I do feel like even if I'm not actually dealing any damage to enemies by doing this, I feel like there's a lot of value in doing this just because it's baffling to them. And then honestly, you probably stay put. Oof, it takes such a long time for this thing to be safely fireable again. The missile weapons are really annoying. Which is to say they work, right? They do exactly the thing that they're supposed to be doing. Make my life very difficult. So you like to fire like here. You're not actually under attack by other people all that much, so I can kind of just like run out and brace for the shot. He's going to shoot right back, though. Maybe it's better not to? Or maybe I'm just better off taking some overheat. Get some damage off here before the... I'm a little worried about how much damage we're going to take here. I'm going to try it like this, though. You know what? We'll be able to issue new orders next turn. All right, let's see what happens. So a big part of what I'm watching for is... wow. The concussion range on this is actually quite large, it seems like. If you like watch the area around the pulse. It's hard to tell exactly what's dealing damage, again, because like one of this game's core failings is readability, or like the immediate readability. But yeah, it definitely seems like something's going on. All right, I know I'm going to take more heat damage if I leap, but if I don't leap, I'm going to take more missile damage. So I think it's probably worth it. All right, that puts me in a place where I have cover. You're going to like run all the way up here after that, and then probably do some more shooting. And you are actually in position to start running some flanks. In particular, I want to surprise this this sniper rifle. Okay, everything else is heading down the ramp into the plasma zone. So, like, what do you do once you've completed this? At this point, everybody's shooting at you. And they will shoot at you again, but there is a period where you are not being shot at. And we might be able to make something happen with that. Like, can I step here and then shoot over the ground? Yeah, right? Might be able to drop you. And then I will run back behind cover. Sorry, I will wait until enemies are about to start firing at me, and then I will run behind cover. So, like, here. And we'll some of the shots will just be taken from an obstructed viewpoint and we'll miss. That's fine. Okay, I got away from some of the missiles. One of those went through. And the assault rifle mech just executed their sniper. Excellent, excellent work. All right, you can't safely attack again until here. Actually, let's change your attack target. Yeah, it's gonna be that guy. So I'll run you out here. I wanna try to stay in a position to continue firing into their flank, really. They have just sort of yielded the bridge to me, which I do not think is a great play on their part. Maybe I should be focused on this guy. Well, I really can't is the problem. All right. Let me shoot you because that's your optimal range on that first shot. I'm just not going to shoot again. All right. So, missiles incoming. Yeah, we get some missiles, then eventually we get some direct fire at the very end. Okay, so what I want to do is lead considerably. I probably want to wait a little bit. Again, like wait till all of the missiles are actually in the air. I can't get a clean dash all the way up onto the... Well, I can get to here. It's going to overheat me, but it's fine. All right, and then you... Okay, you are not the target of much violence this turn. You can actually, like, back up to here. Or maybe even... Wow, I'm the target of a lot of violence early in the turn. If I run back to here, do I still have... No, the hillside is blocking me. Okay. So rather than doing that, let's try to keep the gunfire limited. Wait for a little while as they approach. And then when I'm no longer under quite so much pressure. It's never going to be none, but I'm no longer under quite so much pressure. I step out and I try to pop that mech. Those are pretty well-timed plasma blasts. Okay, that tank is still live, but it is crashing. So we have a minute before it contributes anything else to the fracas. I believe this will be a kill. You can fire again. Yeah. All right. I don't think that tank's going to move again. It's crashing because it ran into something. And the good news for us on that front is that that means that it is ready to crash again as soon as it loses its side, because it has one of its treads is at 15. Maybe I want to jump again. I'm taking direct cannon fire. I don't have a great way of dealing with it, honestly. Okay, he's moving that way, so I guess my best move is to go this way and help him break that line of sight as early as possible. And then once I'm down here, I'm going to try to have something waiting for him. Let's see how much of this prediction stuff I can do. Right, wait till that shot is fired, and then yeah, step back over here. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about all that. Really, the enemy seems to be disregarding my assault rifle mech at their own expense here. Oh, okay. Well, the plasma balls are a little early because this unit fell down. I was not expecting it to lose its legs like that. We probably don't really need to do anything here, right? Like, gosh, he really does not move very much this turn. Like, run over here. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Yeah, he unblocks himself over the course of the action. We still don't have any quick fix, so my shield's not regenerating at all, which is a little bit of a bummer. Just use some missiles, I guess. Okay, that was a little messier than I was expecting it to be. But we got there. So, well, I mean, that is a better burst. So what's a blade and a cutter? Is one of them... You know what kind of sucks? There's no indication on something of whether or not it's a primary or secondary weapon. My guess is that cutters are like sidearm knives and that blades are proper swords. Also, this thing is literally just the blade. Like, they didn't bother to give it a way you would hold it. I don't want to sound like I'm coming at this too harsh here, but in my opinion, there's a remarkable amount of half-assing that has been done in this game's like minor systems. All right, scrap them, scrap them, scrap them. Scrap the torso. Scrap the light. Damn it. I was kind of hoping that that's not how that would go. Okay, here. There we go. That should be a reasonable amount of supplies from that. Okay, let's finally get to the damn resupply point. The resupply must occur. Oh, okay. Well, there was a little bit more cleanup to do than I was expecting. More enemy units running around. We have a lot of supplies and stuff. We definitely need to recover our pilots. But we do have this other mech here. So, okay, hold on. A cutter is... No, they're both primary weapons. Balanced melee weapon typically focused on inflicting damage to isolated parts. Primarily a support weapon with cheap manufacturing costs. But it is a medium melee weapon typically reserved for the primary weapon slot. So this does 306 kinetic and 2 stagger, while this does 345 kinetic. And I don't actually know what stagger means, but I'm assuming there's some kind of stagger resistance that everything has, and that if you overcome the stagger resistance, then you have you cause it to like mini crash or something, to effectively crash. The axe does concussion damage and doesn't cause any stagger, which is really, you would expect this to be more of a hammer kind of thing, but that's cool. Anyway, I wanted to make a new sniper mech. We still only have the one sniper rifle, and it's really bad. But even so, it's also very good. The thing about it is, it's also incredibly good. Well, we need a sniper mech. A sniper mech is a thing worth having. Alright, you get an SMG, and then you don't need to be particularly heavy. Nor do you need to be able to survive all that much fire. Fast is definitely a good thing. And then, like, part of me does want to give it big beefy arms. Again, just that we don't have them flying off during combat. Wow. That is a low mass arm. Yeah, the combination of the integrity and the barrier is just, it's too little. So if I throw pretty heavy arms on it, on both sides, that does get it down to low. I mean, 13 speed's not horrible. 15's a little bit better. Alright, and then we go... Y'all do not get separate paint jobs. There we go. Unignorably pink. Because you want your snipers to be tuned for maximum visibility, right? Yeah, it's really strange, I think, that axes are the ones that do concussion damage. You would think that that would be more of a hammer kind of thing. The axes would be particularly good at, like, doing damage, particularly good at piercing armor and stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of weird decisions in this game. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I don't want to, like, every time I say anything, even the slightest bit negative, I feel like I get people in the comments throwing fits about, well, if you hate it so much, then why are you even playing it? And don't do that. But there are definitely some, like, baffling decisions in this game. All right. I think we're pretty set here. I am going to stop this episode from becoming another, like, 2 hour... Listen, What I'm saying is I'm ending the episode here. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, we're actually going to get through the rest of this rest, and then we're going to move on to a new province. We had some very important things to do here. Also, we need to recruit pilots, and we have so much. We have so much yet to do. Come back to see that all happen, and we'll see you then.